Reynolds and myself, along with council attorney with the council, city clerk office, assistant clerk, the clerk, public relations, and also have some members of administration and also the commission. We'll just go ahead and we'll just turn it over to y'all, your ladies and everything.
Well, good afternoon. I was here a little bit ago with Victory Health Partners, so it's good to be back, and we appreciate the opportunity to come share. And this would be we just find it just an informal time that we can share with you about the HRC, some of the history that has taken place, but also where we have been and hopefully where we're going in the future. My name is Kim Garrett. I'm the director of Victory Health Partners. I've been the mayoral appointee for the HRC since 2020. And I would love for the other commissioners to share some of their history. They've been on a little bit longer than I have, but just a brief history of the HRC from my knowledge is back in the past, there was an appointed executive director on staff for the city that really helped with the kind of operations and all the tasks that took place. There is a International Association of Human Rights Agencies, an international organization that supports organizations like the HRC. In the past, Mobile has actually hosted their annual conference. So a lot of good work, a lot of great history has been in place through this HRC. And you'll see I provided the bylaws that were put in place from this HRC whenever we got started, along with the original charter. So I came on during 2020, which of course is interesting to join anything and to kind of bring anything back up and running. So as far as being truly engaged with a lot of things within the community, we kind of found the time that we could do more foundational preparation and other things to support the HRC, like putting the bylaws in place, creating some, awareness, social media, a brand, and just trying to find the ways, especially during that time, of how we can engage within the community, tabling at events, just trying to be involved. But, that certainly posed some challenges during COVID to have those opportunities to be engaged within the community and to have a presence. And that's certainly the hope going forward, is that there will be more opportunities through your districts, through the city, through the other, so many different opportunities through Parks and Recs and other things that we can be more involved, so that the citizens know, because probably a majority do not recognize that there is HRC here that's here as a liaison, not only for their voices, but for you and for the mayor, that we can come alongside what's being done and be a support to both parties and to be a resource. Let me see. One of the things that when Jordan Carter was on staff that he assisted and came along in the HRC was evaluating the MEI score. And I do have this that I will place and I'll share with you. That's the municipality equality index score that's placed on for the city as far as the LGBTQ plus rights. And you'll see that the city has a ranking of 36 out of 100. So that was something that Jordan was really instrumental in helping move forward and trying to get some of those indicators up, and something that the HRC was looking at as well. We did have 2 members that rolled off just for life circumstances for 2 districts. So that's something, just to have a full commission would be, certainly as a volunteer appointed position, to have a full commission would be very helpful. And there is within the charter an advisory committee that we can also slate as well, with different members in the community, so that even more voices and communities can be represented. So that is kind of an overview of what has been done. Something that's been on our hearts that we've been working towards is certainly just awareness. I think that's one of our greatest opportunities, that the community knows that the HRC is here, but then also opportunities to engage within your districts and how we can be a support, whether it's being included in newsletters, being included within your meetings within your constituents, but so that this can be a tool in your tool belt as you're serving our community, that we certainly want to come alongside. I know my time roles at the end of July, and I think all of their terms have expired. So probably some conversations just for moving forward as far as the right appointees to move forward with the HRC and just seeing how this could be a great resource for the community. So, ladies, what else?
Yeah, just support us when we submit our budget
Mhm.
and allocations and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Okay, Councilman Days, have a question. I think you can follow Mr. Reynolds.
Well, hey, I've just had a chance to look at this. I think you called it what is the acronym for this report?
MEI, the Municipal Equality Index.
Municipal Equality
Mhm.
Index. And who grades, who assigns the grades?
I think that that is done through the MEI. I just pulled that from the website today just to get the most current count. I think
They rank cities, so it's their commission that
Mhm.
ranks different cities.
Who's they?
MEI. Mhm.
Oh, that's an organization,
Mhm.
nationwide organization. Okay. And do you agree with this score they've given us, a 36 out of 100? Does the commission agree with this score?
I think the score, whenever it was originally a system that Jordan Carter was really looking at and working alongside with them in their office, I think the original score was about 12. So I think some of the scores, it was just some things that maybe might have not have been presented or things that the city was already doing that we just needed to submit that, yes, this policy's in place, or yes, this is happening. I think the appointment of the liaisons for the LGBTQ community with, oh goodness, her name is blanking. But that's been helpful, having the HRC has added to the score. So.
Well, I think it'd be advantageous for us to continue to work on this score. And so to me, the one of the first things is to have some kind of independent, they have all these different categories. Do we agree with the grade they've given in each one of these categories? That would be interesting for, I think, us to hear. And then the second thing would be, what type of legislation that is within the power of the Mobile City Council to enact might improve our score. And it's not just about improving the score. Obviously, it's about improving the quality of life for all of our citizens. This apparently is the report card, and so we need to be looking at the report card. So I think, as far as my request to the commission would be, if y'all could kind of validate, and I don't expect you to. I mean, obviously, in anything like this, there's going to be some subjectivity involved in it. I understand that, but are there any gaping holes here where they say we're not doing this and we are doing this? That would be informative, I think, to me. And then the second part is, again, what legislation that the city council enact? Because in so many ways we are limited in what we can do by the state. But with what legislation that is within our power to enact might we enact that would impact the scores and make the city a more an inclusive city?
Absolutely. And I think it's something we could also work with. Dr. Natalie Fox is one of the liaisons. That was the name I was missing. And see what work they have been doing, and see if there's any insight that they can provide as well. So.
Well, if you'd give us some feedback on those topics, I'd appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Mr. President. So the non-discrimination in city employment, we got 0 points. City contractor non-discrimination ordinance, we got 0 points. I don't understand how that could be. I know we have a, contractor program, We have an ordinance that addresses a percentage of minorities being required
Mhm.
on our contracts. I mean, did they just mislook at this perhaps?
And it could be just a documentation. They just need the right documentation. It just needs to be provided. But that's something that, we can take a review to see and then provide that so that that score can easily go up.
And you may have said this, but what are the implications of this score? So why does the score matter?
That score is used for equality indexes. So like if you were going, like Airbus has a huge equality program. So if they're trying to, I'm sorry, Bridget Archer, District 6. So if they're trying to recruit members to come, because that's a big push at Airbus, they're trying to hire 1,500 members right now. That is part of our package of look at our equality in our city. Just like we could say housing costs and all that. Why do you want to move from wherever you live to a city that doesn't have equality amongst its members?
All right.
It's a selling point. And, we always want to sell our city. It's a selling point.
Sabrina Mass District 3. I agree with what you're saying. It's not just a selling point because see, when we're talking about I just heard you say the required amount we have to get past the required amount and get past to the equal amount, the equality of bringing all cultures, all ethnicities, all age, whatever it is, we got to get past the required and get to the equality and the equal. So these numbers are there to, as she said, to show that the city is based on equality, on fairness, on equity, on inclusiveness. If this city can get past all this and that and saying the status quo, then we can move forward. Because the HRC, we are a conglomerated group. We all have a great relationship. And we discuss things, we talk about things with the city and this and that. And so this is the thing. If we can get equality and we can work together with the council, because there are many things that are happening in this city that we don't even know what's going on. We have to read about it when it's happened, after it's happened. We don't know. So how can we go and bring the citizens into the fold and say, come do this, come to this event, come do this? We don't even have a clue of what's going on. There are many things that the citizens are left out on that are taxpayers that have a right, not only myself and us, but the citizens have the right to know what's happening in our city, when it's happening, before it happens, so that if they choose to get engaged, they can come. There should be no private VIP invitations. There should be no private this and that. Anything that's happening in the city with the mayor and the city council should be known to the public and let the people choose to decide if they want to engage or not. And I stand on that.
My other question is the budget. What budget what is the budget? What is the budget for the human resources?
It was a little budget. But really at that time, we were looking at getting some marketing, some things to table at different events, some printed materials. So I'd have to look back and see, but I think it might have been about $1,400, $1,100. And then those were spent towards marketing, printed materials, those type of things. Because really at the time, we weren't at a place to host events and that type of thing.
All right, and then in section F of this, the bylaws, it says that the Human Relations Commission, one of their functions is to receive grants and donations from foundations, institutions, organizations, and individuals for carrying out its functions. Has the HRC received any of that?
Not at this time.
Not at this
Not this time. Just for, from a capacity of being able to do those grants, but then also the conversation of, if those grants are received, how would those, where would those go? Since we're, come underside, we're not our own entity. We don't have kind of a organization over us. So that's something that we were looking into, but this time we have not.
Okay. And then what we've unfortunately found from time to time is as these boards, commissions that are established or set up by the city over time sort of lose their effectiveness. And their effectiveness to say advocate for a particular issue or whatever for this to the city council or bring us up to speed and tell us what's going on. But this is unique that it says that you guys will submit an annual report and other reports as required of its activities. Have y'all submitted any of that? And if you haven't, I think it'd be helpful for the city council to receive sort of these, updates from time to time, not
Yes.
necessarily, but maybe in writing.
Right, we can certainly do that and keep the minutes of all of our meetings, but that can kind of be put together into an actual annual report. And that's certainly some of the goals that we have in place so that we can and keep y'all abreast of what's going on, and also just open up conversation for us as well. How can we support you? And then also how can we share on our efforts? So.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Council members. We appreciate you all so much and everything, and for bringing us that update.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. Anything else?
Mr. President,
Can we have an introduction of all the various HRC members?
Yes. Kim Garrett, I'm the mayoral appointee.
Okay.
Bridget Archer, I'm District 6.
I'm Morgan Spivey, District 5.
Kimberly McCain, District 2.
Sabrina Bass, District 3, Public Relations Officer, that about 5 years.
Perfect. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I would just like to say that, like, our kind of vision for how this might be able to grow and how we might be able to better serve would be if we could be a bit more connected in, like, the goal would be that we would be able to be a liaison between you guys and some of your constituents, so that when we hear of matters that people may feel like are discriminatory or it's unethical or not equitable for the people, that there would be a place that they could be heard even first. And then we guys might be able to come to and present to you guys. There are some HRCs in other cities where it works very well that way, where the HRC is very visible, provides a place that perhaps is a little less intimidating than maybe like a city council meeting, and that people could be heard, which is sometimes half the battle, of just people being able to express what the things are that they believe are not going well or are not equitable for them. And we'd love to be able to sub in that capacity, to be able to just be an ear. Some of the parts of our charter say that we might be able to like brainstorm ideas with constituents and then bring to you ideas of like, here's a problem, here's an idea of how we think that might be solved. With regards to the MEI score, that's not really something we were tasked with improving. Really, our role was to be a liaison and to promote equity and inclusion among the citizens, but we might be able to sub in some of those areas that are lower in our MEI score. I know Jordan Carter brought that to us just as a report of like, this is a tangible document to show us that like we have work to do in the city of Mobile with regard to human relations. I don't think any of us would have to debate about that, but it gives us a tangible score and then can help us see, okay, how are we moving forward in people being heard and in considering and thinking of solutions to how people might be able to be treated a bit more fairly. So I don't know if that helps. I know we kind of circled around the MEI score a little bit, and I just wanted to clarify that we really weren't tasked with increasing the MEI score. That's something that I believe there's someone within the city of Mobile that is tasked with that, and Jordan brought that information to us. And so just wanted to clarify that we would love for it to look a bit more like the city people would feel like they could come to us and say, hey, I have a place where I know I can share my concerns, and we might be able to see if, okay, there is a theme here that we can come and help work with you guys to see if we can't find solutions. I don't know if that's helpful. Yeah.
Mr. President, Council, may I say one more thing to chime in on Ms. Morgan here? And I just have to say this to get this off my chest. You know, I feel like, you know, it always seems like it's the citizens against the council. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all ain't talk loud, no. Thank you, Ms. Lund. I feel like, I feel like it seems like it's always the citizens against the council. Me personally, I wish that we could all understand that there's some hurt out here. There's some suffering out here. The citizens should, myself even, we should feel that we can go to any city council, whether it's in our district or not, the citizens, myself, and have a relationship about anything that is concerning in this city. Because it shouldn't be where we have a disconnect. Because even myself, I say some hurtful things. I'm just a real type person. But sometimes y'all got to understand, outside of the council, in our own homes, and I know that Kimberly and other people know, my phone, my inboxes, and I get stressed myself with people and their concerns. I can't solve everything in this city, but I try my best. And a lot of times when I'm coming and I'm speaking and it's like, it's not, when you have a lot of weight on your shoulder and you're just out here trying to speak, it's a lot. It's a lot. The Human Relations Commission, we deal with some stuff. And people that do know about us, they entrust us to carry over the messages to get the resolutions. And when you are on this journey, totally feel like this is your journey and your calling, it gets to a point where you're tired. We have no meaning in this as far as our gain, as far as finances or anything. We're doing it because it's from our heart and we have a passion for it. But when we come to the council, or anybody comes to the council, it should be we coming because do y'all understand how people are crying out? Crying out. We need some help out here. Not trying to make no enemies. We can't be enemies and trying to be for the same cause. So the commission, from what I'm gathering for myself, we're just trying to find a medium to where we can all be on the same page and say, listen, we are here for the people and their voices and resolutions. And that's where I'm coming with today. Now, people can take it how they want or not. Because at the end of the day, Miss Mass is going to always tell the truth. I'm not going to lie. For what reason? I have no cause in it. Because I'm going to still do what I do, with or without I've been doing it. I'm going to continue doing it till I'm leaving here. We're just trying to come as a group and say, help us help them. And that's it. And if I'm wrong, they have the right to tell me if that's not the cause, because maybe I need to be educated on it. And thank you, and y'all have a blessed day.
Yeah, I thank the commission for being with us today and appreciate your being here. And again, I would put it back on you to come to us with specific actionable steps we can take to make the city a more inclusive place, because we're all interested in doing that. We're all interested in doing that, and we are interested in partnering with the commission. But we need suggestions, ideas, and alternatives from you on what that looks like. Actionable steps that the council can take to do that, move that forward.
You can give an appointment for Councilman Reynolds. We're waiting for an appointment from you, and we need an appointment from Corey. So the MEI score, we are working, community affairs is actually for the administration that's handling that piece. We're trying to beat Birmingham. Birmingham is at 100. And we are at, I want to say it. We're at, we won't say, but we're going to work together so we can get to a better score, but we do need those 2 appointments. Thank you.
Are you funded, fully funded? Send the letter.
Well, with your leadership, Ms. Keisha, we thank you, you'll get us there. All right? Yeah. All right, any other council members? Thank y'all so